Now, he spent much of his life and career inside the machinery of government, either as a politician, lawmaker, or public servant at the national level. Dr. Chris Adighije has been a senator representing Abia Central in the National Assembly, the pro-chancellor and chairman of council at the Federal University in Lokoja, and he served as a federal commissioner for Abia State at the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission. Before this, he was the treasurer of the National Republican Convention, or NRC. You could say that as he marks his 80th birthday this year, just a few weeks ago in fact, he's earned his wet wings as an elder statesman. So, as Nigeria continues to rot all around him, and indeed all around all of us, how does he think this country can be knocked into shape? And how far does he think his party, the APC, has come in achieving this, following 10 years of promises of change in 2015, taking Nigeria to the next level in 2019, and delivering renewed hope in 2023? Well, for more on this, I'm suitably delighted to say that Senator Chris Adighije joins me now in the studio. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you very much, Charles. Good evening, viewers.
And a very hearty 80th birthday to you.
Special grace of God.
How does it feel to turn 80?
But let me go back a bit. I just watched your last program. I'd like to convey.
You mean the last section of this program?
Yes.
Right.
You were
the previous
general.
Yes, Major General.
About the killings and all that. And it's very sad. I'd like to convey my deepest condolences to Nigerians and to ask that God will intervene and alongside with what government is doing. The killings must stop, must really stop. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Going back to my 80th birthday, everything centers around God. It's God that made it possible. I'm grateful to Almighty God that at 80, I'm still able to stand on my feet. I'm still able to read without glasses. I have great children who are caring. I have good friends all over Nigeria. To God be the glory.
Indeed. And of course, after many years in politics, I mean, having reached the esteemed position of senator and having delivered commendable public service at both the national and the state levels, I mean, you can be said to, as we mentioned in the intro, to be an elder statesman. I mean, how do you reflect on the life that you have had?
Well, let me take you back a bit. I started as university lecturer. Maybe many people don't know this. I'm a geologist. That's my profession.
So you are an academic,
It's not politics.
Right.
I'm a professional geologist. And I think that is where we have made our initial inputs in geology of Nigeria, in trying to discover new areas for oil in the Benue Basin. That's my PhD thesis. By the way, my PhD was in 1978. It's a long time ago. So I come from the academic world. And of course, got into politics. And that's it. I'm here today as an elder statesman, having come through situation where Naira was almost equal to dollar, to where I could buy my car as a university lecturer at 6,000 Naira.
And what car was that?
And right now I'm...
Was that a Peugeot or a Volkswagen?
Peugeot 504
Right.
L. Peugeot L.
Right.
That was a good big car for 6,000 and all that. You know, you trace that life, you come through Civil War, by the way. I've seen the Civil War. From that Civil War to the university, to buying your vehicle at that price, and you are here today, having seen it all. So I think I'm humbled by the fact that I'm still alive. I'm still able to communicate. I'm still able to advise and direct as many people as I can. Mentor, if that's the word, mentor many people. I have to do that.
And you mentioned the staggeringly high prices that we have today compared to the days when you were a university lecturer. You are, of course, a member of the ruling APC. What exactly has the APC been able to achieve so far as you can see? And I'm not just talking about the 2 years of the Tinubu presidency, but cumulatively in the past 10 years of APC rule in Nigeria.
Well, you must know that the rot in Nigeria was so deep in years past, as the rot was there. Now my president, Bola Tinubu, is taking the bull by the horn, facing the challenges with a lot of courage. A lot of courage. I didn't expect that much courage to face the challenge so that it will stop once and for all. That, of course, must come with some pain, which I regret. But that's the only way. If Nigeria has to survive and be stable and life better thereafter, there are certain things we took for granted. Now we have to face reality and begin to cut our coat according to our size.
The problem, though, yes, Senator, yes, is that your party has not been in power for the last 2 years. Your party has been in power for the last 10 years. And within your party, the greatest critic of the 8 years of the Buhari administration has been the Tinubu faction, despite the fact that both governments have operated under the umbrella of the APC. What account of that can you give to the people of this country whom the APC has promised to serve, both under President Buhari and under President Tinubu? I mean, why should they believe what you're saying to them?
Look, what I'm saying is that beyond the APC government, there was big rot.
Yeah, but you've had the chance for 10 years.
Yes. What is 10 years compared to what the rot was?
Yeah, but 10 years is a long time.
No, and we're getting there.
Well, I don't know about that.
We are getting there. Things are getting better.
I don't mean to. Let me put it. You're the one who sat there and talked about the staggering levels, cost of living crisis.
At the time, I'm talking about 1967, 1970, 1973.
But let me say this, and I apologize for interrupting you because yes, I actually like listening to you and you know, taking in your great words of wisdom. But many people will be scratching their heads to figure out how the APC has actually solved the needs of the Nigerian people in areas such as poverty, inequality, insecurity, electricity, water sanitation, unity and the sense of inclusiveness, democratic aspirations, the rule of law, etc. Because all these things seem to have either remained static or regressed as far as many Nigerians are concerned. How would you answer
I disagree with you about regression. I'm rather positive we're making progress.
Yeah, but how?
Even if it is slow.
Give me one of those things I mentioned where electricity, what progress have you made?
Of course. It's even better a little now than before. Of course.
Well, most people would laugh the way that I laugh.
No. But definitely it is picking up. Rome was not built in a day. You see, when you have to go down to be able to come up properly. The situation before this time was very, very, very bad. This government, the APC government, the 8 years plus the 2 years, a lot of progress is taking place. Nigeria is beginning to earn respect.
Are you telling me, Senator,
yes, sir,
that in 10 years, I mean, if you look at Ukraine, Ukraine is under attack from Russia. Russia targets their energy infrastructure. They bomb those infrastructure. They destroy a lot of them. And within a few weeks, they get them working again and working at almost full capacity. Are you telling me that after 10 years, your government is still not capable of giving Nigerians steady electricity?
What you are not looking at is the foundation. The foundation.
Yeah, but why did you take power?
Well, if you have to, because we can't let it go like that.
No, what I'm saying, why did you ask people to vote for you when you know you can't deliver anything?
It's work in progress. We are going
10 years?
Of course. What is 10 years? Now, the last 2 years, for instance, is doubled up.
Well, I don't know about
Things have picked up in a way that you yourself know.
Well, I don't. That's why I'm saying
And I'm telling you because I have experience. You didn't experience 1970s, did you?
Well,
I did. Full adult.
I was probably in diapers.
So the point I'm making is that it's slow. We have to be patient.
Right.
Because this government, the Bola Tinubu government, is well focused on it. It's doing it gradually. Nigerians are now being respected across the world.
Well, I don't know about that.
Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Things are picking up. It may be slow, but it's gradual.
Well, Senator, let me say this. Yeah. I mean, with all due respect to you, and you know, you're a tremendous resource to this country who must be respected and listened to. And this is an opportunity for you to tell people, the people who are in government, the people who are running this country, to tell them the truth without fear or favor, because you've earned it. I mean, the problem is that most of those in power in this country do not see the poor, do they? And they don't strain their ears to hear them either. I mean, the African Development Bank President Akinwumi Adesina said poverty is not a statistic. There is a mother, there is a child, there is a farmer, there is a rural community that needs access to electricity, to water, to health care, etc. How has your party, the APC, beyond political rhetoric, been able to crystallize that into something that is beyond just a statistic and is very real in the lives of Nigerians? I mean, you don't owe anybody anything. You can be straight between the eyes.
No, the point I want to make, and I have made it before, is that things were really, really, really down below and now gradually picking up. One of the things that give you a sign that things are picking up is that the international world is beginning to want to come to Nigeria to work, to negotiate.
Well, I don't know about that.
I'm telling you.
What evidence is there of that?
I'm telling you.
Well, what is the evidence?
Meetings are ongoing.
Well, meetings have always been ongoing.
No, but now they are genuine. Investors are coming.
Where are the investors?
Because come to my state, for instance, they're all there. We have investors coming.
Your state is Abia State.
Abia State.
Yeah, but Abia State is under a different political party.
I'm talking about Nigeria.
It's under the Labour Party.
I'm talking about Nigeria.
Yeah, but it's not the federal government who's bringing.
You go to Imo State.
It's not the federal government who's.
Yeah, but Southeast.
But you were talking about Abia State.
No,
it's a Labour government.
Charity begins at home. We begin to talk about Nigeria, components of Nigeria.
Yeah, but you swithed very quickly to Imo State because you got an
APC. I'm in the Southeast. Because you wanted to know whether there is something in the APC. In Imo State, for instance, there's been a lot of development. I'm not talking about...
Okay, well, since you mentioned the Southeast, let's turn to the Southeast and the issue of security there. I wonder how you would assess the current state of security in the Southeast and the threat level from IPOB in that region. Are things getting better or worse?
You see, the position is that people say so much about security in the Southeast. By the grace of God, I had a lot of people come into Southeast for my birthday. And they were all shocked that what they see is not what they hear. The security has been managed properly, and people are free to move around. Even the so-called sit at home on Mondays is fair.
You mean in Abia State?
In Abia, for instance.
I mean, under a Labour government.
Not just even Abia, the whole of Southeast. The hype that you should sit at home on Mondays is just a hype. I travel on Monday morning to the airport, and there's nobody's disturbing you. So it's being managed. I'm not saying it's totally eradicated.
Yeah, I understand that.
But there's progress in that direction. There's progress. It's just fear. And people want to instill fear on people.
So
and
fear is holding people back.
That's it, fear.
Well, let me ask you, let's stay in the Southeast, or at least issues that affect the Southeast. And let me ask you about the issue of rotational presidency, for example, and the agreement that power should rotate not just between North and South, but between the zones within the regions. So many people in the APC, including, we were told, President Buhari, I don't know if that's true or not, wanted power to shift to the Southeast in 2023, but that didn't happen. I mean, as an elder statesman and a ranking member of the APC and as a politician from the Southeast, how much does that rub you up the wrong way, and what sort of issues does that raise for you?
Well, you know, as an Igbo man, definitely it would be wonderful to have an Igbo man sitting as president. Definitely, I would have loved that to happen. But the rotation is not South. And you know, it's a game of number. So the Southwest got it, and the president is doing very well. I pray to God he will do his 8 years. I hope, I pray, because he's performing well. Well, after that, the Southeast would like to have a shot at it. But what is important for me at my age now is not which area brings the president. What is important to me now is how will the people develop? How will people feel better? Who can do it? That is the way I think we should begin to look at issue of number one position. Give it to the best.
Well, after 10 years, you think the APC is the best that this country can offer?
APC has done tremendously very well. Definitely.
Well, I think we need to move away from that conversation. And let me show people your lovely, lovely biography. It's called Footprints, a biography of Senator Chris Adighije. What's in this book? Tell us about it.
No, it just talks about my life history, how it has been. Not so rosy, not so bad, but I'm getting there. But my life at the beginning, compared to my life now, I'm much happier now. I feel accomplished. I didn't even know I would get to this point. In my birthday party, I had my classmates, 1970, 73. They were there. We have not met for 50 years.
Wow.
And we've compared notes.
That must have given you tremendous joy.
So we have, I think I have done well.
You certainly have.
By the grace of God, special grace of God. I don't know the magic, but the magic has been perhaps because I forgive. No bitterness. Even in politics, I see it as a game. I know how many times I tried to go to the Senate, how many times I failed. No grudges.
But you eventually succeeded.
That is an act of God.
And on that note, I want to thank you very much indeed for also succeeding in turning up at our studio this evening. You've really made our day and the program. So I want to thank you very much indeed for coming in. Senator Chris Adighije, good to see you again, and a happy birthday once again.
Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate it.
That's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja, bye-bye and thank you for watching.